Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I was right, not a big deal. It happens. And not only that I was right, but, patience is still a virtue. History will absolve some of us. That is, you can be attacked for saying certain things, but wait, my friends, wait. And time will show who was right and who was wrong. I said this many times before. I'm not making it as a big deal because I was right before about this issue, and that is I would say, hatred between certain nations in Eastern Europe in general that I'm very familiar with. Now, it doesn't mean that if I personally was involved in direct experience with this kind of issues, it's necessary still the same thing nowadays. But I haven't left those pastures too long ago, so the history or the attitudes just changed so dramatically in such a short time. So what happened? I told you many times that Poland, Hungary, Ukraine, Romania, these guys don't really... Oh, let's throw Russia in that mixture. These countries have a long history of I attack you, I kill you, I do this, I do that. And these things are not forgotten. Why? Because history reminds us about our ancestors, how our ancestors were by those ancestors, and those ancestors were by those ancestors, and so on. I remember when I came here to the United States of America, and I've been told, hey, why do you guys are so passionate about these things? Why can't you just all get along? I said, because probably my great-grandfather was murdered by his great-grandfather, and his great-grandfather was killed by this great-grandfather, and so on. Now, if you can forget that, that's your choice. We can't. You can't really forget when your relatives were massacred, and so on. So this is a problem right now between Ukraine, Hungary, and Poland. Remember, Poland was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, supporter of Ukraine. Not necessarily with weapons, but at least with everywhere Ukraine needed it. Why? Because Ukraine was fighting Poland's enemy, one of them, which is Russia. Now, not necessarily that Poland is Ukraine's friend. No. But I help you, that you're not my friend, to destroy that guy who's not my friend, or you do a mutual destroy, you destroy one another, and then I can come over and pick the pieces and do whatever I want. Now, the same thing with Hungary. Hungary is not Ukraine's friend. Why? Because Hungary still has some territories that it claims for itself that are in Ukraine, the same Poland. There are some territories, historical territories, that Poland claims from Ukraine were taken by Soviet Union and given to Ukraine. The same with Romania, but Romania is a different story. Those are weasels. So they will just shut up unless Al Capone allows them to do something, and then they say, yes, we're so brave. So let's go back to this one. I'm going to show you 3 articles and about what? Two maps? Let's start with this one. I mean, this thing was well known, that Hungary threatens to block Ukraine's EU accession prospects at December summit. They said it before. The fantastic Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, said it many times. He has balls of steel. And he said, we're going to do this. Well, people got used to that, saying, well, it's just Hungary, just crazy. All right, well, now guess what? We got Ukrainska Pravda, where we have Poland saying the same thing. All of a sudden, Poland claims Ukraine, and I'm quoting, can only dream about EU accession without agreements on exhumation. You know what exhumation is? All right? Well, what's that all about? Exhumation of what? Well, 1943, 1944, long time ago for some idiots, but not for the Poles. So, and this is one, and I'm going to show another one. Kiev Independent says, again today, November 7th, Polish official, Ukraine cannot dream of EU without resolving Volyn victims exhumation. So in 1943, if I remember correctly, 44, there were some groups, some so-called Ukrainian nationalists, of which Bandera was one of them, with the help of those guys from Germany, killed about, according to the polls, about 200,000 Poles, massacred. I think between 60,000 to 200,000 or something like this. And that's a problem that's not solved between the nations, because the Poles call that a kind of a genocide, massacre, and Ukrainians are calling that, just some killing, some, like this. So, again, ancestors would not let these guys nowadays play along. Now, let's look over the map a little bit so you can understand the implications of these countries possibly blocking Ukraine's access or accession to European Union. So, Ukraine is right here in the green, and then you have in red Poland, then you have Hungary here in this beautiful green that I like, and you got Weasel Romania here, and the fake country of Moldova right here in what it deserves, whatever the color is, pink or something, you deserve that. So here it is, Ukraine without Poland, without Budapest, and without Romania would have no access to support from outside, because Slovakia will not be able, and Slovakia also is on Warsaw and Budapest side. So they need these guys. Remember, Budapest wants this part right here, Zakarpattia. Warsaw wants this part right here. And why not? I think the Poles want everything from, see my cursor, comes from here to here. I think that's how much they want, all this thing. Well, because they dream of their, you don't see it here, Lithuania-Poland Commonwealth. Just look into history and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So here is where the war occurs in Ukraine. So these are the Russians, right? These are the Romanians right here. These are Hungarians, Poles, and so on. So we got these guys that certainly Hungary will block it. Let's see what the Poles are saying. Paweł Jablonski, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland, has stated that without solving the issues related to the exhumation of the remains of the Poles on the territory of Ukraine, and I'm quoting, it can only dream about the EU accession. Details. The official brought up the subject of the exhumation of graves of Polish people who had been killed during the Volyn tragedy. Why tragedy? Because the name of this media outlet is Ukraińska Prawda. If this would be a Polish media outlet, it would be genocide or something close to that. So they call it tragedy in the 1940s in Ukraine. In Poland, these events are called the Volyn massacre. All right? And I'm quoting, I will express our opposition, in my opinion, without solving this issue, and many Ukrainians realize this. Ukraine can only dream about EU accession. So we will absolutely stress that without solving this issue, there will not be long-term reconciliation with Ukraine. So now you know why Poland helped Ukraine against Russia, besides Russia being their friends. All right, and I'm quoting, I do not like discussing the conditions. I am talking about the reality. If we have to be in an alliance with a country with which we have a major dispute, then the dispute must be solved. Otherwise, it would be hard to cooperate. Correct. I think that's only logical. Now, it says here, at the end of October, it was revealed that Poland had sent a request to the Ukrainian authorities about the exhumation of the remains of the Poles who died. Oh, they died. They were not killed. They just died. In 1945, after discovering the burial in a territory of a now non-existent village of Puzniczki in Ternopil Oblast. The survey report that over 60% of the Poles want Ukraine to allow unlimited exhumation of the victims of the Volyn tragedy. Okay, my friends, the same thing is this one right here. I look to see if they say, and they're going to give you some details right here. In the spring and summer of 1943, so I knew something about it, right? Members of the Ukrainian Insurgent Army, UPA, the military branch of the Organization of Ukrainian Nationalists, OUN, massacred thousands of Poles in Nazi-occupied Volyn, a region that used to be part of Poland and is now part of Ukraine. Thousands of Ukrainians were killed in retaliation. Ukrainian historian Serhiy Ploichy, director of the Ukrainian Research Institute at Harvard University, estimates that the number of Polish victims of the massacre varies between 60,000 to 90,000. The Poles, I think they said at one point 200,000. The number of Ukrainians killed by Poles in 1940s is estimated at between 10,000 to 20,000, including between 2,000 and 3,000 in Volyn, according to Polish historian Grzegorz Motika. What's going on? All right, my friends. Is it clear? Is it clear? That will not be forgotten. The Romanians are different, if you know what I mean. They're different. So they will just don't care. There's some hundreds of thousands of Romanians, if I remember correctly, living nowadays in Ukraine because Stalin gave an ultimatum to Romania in 1940. And Romania just gave them the territories with the Romanians on it. So since then, the Romanians have been over there living under occupation. After 1990 or 1991, when Soviet Union disintegrated, those territories did not come back to Romania where they were taken from. Why? They remained not to Soviet Union, which disintegrated, were given to Ukraine. Now, do you tell me that's just? I don't think so. If someone comes and orders to get my car, all right, and I'm afraid to fight him because it's my Lamborghini and the guy over there will beat my ass or maybe kill everybody over here, I say, okay, I'm going to give you my Lamborghini. And after 2 years, the police finds out about this blackmail and arrests that guy who got my Lamborghini. And now my Lamborghini should go to that neighbor, or the Lamborghini should return to me, the owner. What do you think? I mean, this is, it's, how should I put it? It's so clear and without any, he likes my glasses, so clear that we don't even have to be tards or anything. All right, my friends, so that's what's going on over there. And it's not only between the Romanians, Hungarians, Transylvania, Zakarpattia, Lviv or Lvov, and no, it's more than that. It's more than that. And remember, this kind of massacres did not occur only in 1943. They occurred between other states and other nations for generations, my friends, for generations. So these are big, big wounds that seem to never heal. So this could also tell you why Poland helped Ukraine so far. What was the interest? It was not love, it was not friendship, it was an interest. I told you the interest and probably the order. Both of them. Interest, we're going to get those areas from, let me show you, from Ukraine that belonged to us in a long time ago. And they are right here, Lutsk, that area, and Lviv, or Lvov, this is right here. But as I said, don't touch my light, mofo. So, but these guys are thinking about taking the whole thing here. Anyway, so they want that. The Hungarians want this part right here. And Romanians should have all this right here. But they don't, and they will not. All right, my friends. Here is the great friendship. Destroy my light. This great friendship in Eastern Europe. And in Western Europe is the same thing, but these guys are a little bit nicer to one another. I mean, I can give you a lot of examples where France and Germany have problems. And not only France and Germany, you have Italy. He succeeded. So there are issues in other parts of Europe and not only. But now that we're dealing with Ukraine, I can show you, and I think I showed you, how much these nations love one another. All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.